We have already introduced building compliance obligations as one of the suite of performance measures necessary to provide an understanding of how well our buildings are meeting user requirements. This week we focus on building compliance obligations, especially for existing buildings. There are a number of reasons for singling out compliance. First, it differs from other measures because it carries with it a legislative obligation and legal sanctions. Second, most of the stock of existing buildings coincide with meeting the surge of the baby boomer generation, and now, some 50 years or so later, are ageing and ailing due to challenges of functional, technological, physical and economic obsolescence. Thirdly, it will be appreciated that the advance in living standards and expectations have spurred on an associated increase in the number of regulatory requirements from fire and life safety to hazardous substances, disability access, earthquake resistance and environmental protection. Compliance legislation is generally couched in terms such as far as reasonably practicable. This tends to acknowledge that to achieve full compliance, particularly for ageing existing buildings with their legacy issues, is often impracticable. While compliance requirements may not necessarily be retrospective, their legislative status implies that due diligence has been carried out in consideration of these obligations. In order to demonstrate due diligence, it will come as no surprise that this module advocates dealing with compliance obligations in accordance with the features already discussed under the Asset Performance Management model. In particular, emphasis is given to the understanding of performance against nominated benchmarks and the application of the risk management tool in order to assign priority and develop structured continuous improvement plans as part of the overall planning process. Risk management is essentially about managing rather than necessarily eliminating risk. Clearly, any new compliance requirements that emerge during a building's life may not be fully met, and with the possibility of changes to an organisation's business, its service capability will gradually erode. When significant upgrades occur, where, for argument's sake, more than 50% of the building is undergoing change, it can be argued that there is a due diligence obligation to attend non-complying regulatory issues that have occurred during the life of the building. In a practical way, as major refurbishment approaches, it makes sense to include all priority compliance matters as part of the overall asset management planning process. This presents the ideal opportunity to bring the building into conformance with current compliance requirements, as well as any other performance deficiencies. Thank you.